La 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 la. La 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 la. Why, whoa, 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 whoa. Gather round, people. Gather round. It's a story time. Time to tell a story, a fairy tale. Are you guys gathered around and you want to hear a fairy tale? It's a fairy tale of long, long ago. This fairy tale starts out in a time of magic, when men and fairy tale creatures lived together in harmony. It was a time before electronics, a time when the woodland creatures and men had peaceful coexistence. Well, this fairy tale starts with a little princess. The princess' name was Tree Dog. Tree Dog was the princess of the swamp trolls. Tree Dog, she was like any other swamp troll, hideous by face, broad-shouldered and back. But she had a heart of gold and a face that only a mother troll could love. Now, Tree Dog had troll friends that she frolicked with in the marshes and the swamp bogs. And during this time, she developed different love interests with other trolls. But the trolls told Tracy that they were gay trolls and they weren't interested in her. They only wanted to be her good Judies. Now, Tracy took this personally. Who else could she love? All the gay trolls. All the male trolls were gay in her area that she lived in that particular part of the swamp. Now, there was one particular gay troll, and she really, really fell in love with this one. His name was Mystery Van. Mystery Van befriended Tracy, and he gave her makeup tips, particularly how to brighten her skin and make her appear to be an albino troll. But that backfired, and the hideous concoction that he gave her caused her to grow warts, particularly on her forehead. Now, Tracy was shamed by this, and she didn't want to live in shame in that particular part of the swamp that she dwelt in. Now, when her parents were asleep, the king and queen troll, Tracy dug a burrow and escaped away from the palace. She swam through the creeks, up streams. She didn't know where to go. She was fearful. Who would take a troll in that was even more hideous than the rest of the trolls from this scarring, from this cream that Mystery Van had given her? Now, Tracy scurried alone, protected by night. Of course, she saw strangers. She came upon campers and families in the woods. The children would gawk at her and stare and run away screaming in fear. Tracy didn't know how she would survive on her own. So she took to scavenging in trash bins, eating Subway sandwiches and French fries that they had thrown out. She made do with that. And she would also leave notes for the farmers to leave her cash apps so she could feast probably on some farmer's wares. She could leave money and they would still leave her treats to eat, but she was carnivorous by nature, so she really didn't like that many vegetables. She preferred live meat. Now, Tracy wandered for days through the woods. She came upon a prince, a fairy god prince. His name was J. Wilson. I'm sorry, he was her fairy godfather. My bad. A fairy godfather. He was gayer than all the men she had ever met. He had a sense of style. He could critique her and tell her how to wear her makeup right and cute clothes that she could get. Now, unbeknownst to him, Tracy fell in love with him, madly in love with him. Jay Wilson wasn't having it. He didn't see Tracy like that. He saw her as a daughter. And Tracy reacted viciously and she maimed him. She drained him dry of his soul essence because that was the power of the tree trolls in her part of the swamp, as I was saying. Now, she wandered along and she came upon a palace. And in this palace, there was a king. Well, a king. His name was King Sean Bradley. And Tracy wanted to work for this king. She wanted to, wash dishes, be a handmaiden, deliver babies. But they didn't want her near the babies because her track record with kids wasn't so good. So they preferred to leave her, sweeping in the bathroom or picking up, trash in the courtyard. Tracy developed another love for Sean. She wanted to be with him more than anything. She could taste his flesh. She longed for him every night. One day when they were sitting in the courtyard and she was chewing toenails off the livestock with her gold tooth, because that was what she used that gold tooth for, to whittle the horse's hooves. Now, Sean confided in her. He told her, listen, you crazy motherfucker, I am gay. And Tracy was blown away by this. Was she destined to constantly fall in love with gay men? Sean told her numerous times, motherfucker, listen, I'm not interested in you, girl. She took that loss and she carried on her way again. Poor Tracy. She didn't know where she could turn. What man would give her an opportunity? She started thinking then with that little pea-sized brain that she had, which couldn't think that much. If she thought too long, it would make her have heart headaches. But in this little bumblebee brain that she possessed, she decided maybe I should go after women. So she said, I'll go after women now. And she went back into the forest to see if she can catch the scent of a woman or, something that would like her that was female. She came upon a handmaiden that was sitting in the woods doing her makeup. People was gathered around watching her do her makeup. This maiden was Joyce Vlogs. Joyce was one of those maidens. She can get out there with the guys and hunt varmints, and she also could do a mean ass mug, and she would beat the princess's mugs in all of the kingdom. Tracy was instantly turned on. She was instantly turned on, and she wanted Joyce. Joyce spurred, she just wasn't feeling Tracy like that. And she told Tracy, Tracy, I am gay, but bitch, I'm not interested in you. We could be good friends. Tracy didn't know what to take of this. She was so devastated. Why is my luck so bad? Why can't I find love? Joyce told us, say, well, girl, I don't know. I can't help you with that. Bitch, you just go look and see if you can find something. But girl, I'm not her. I'm not that girl. So again, Tracy scurried along, building her nest in treetops, digging burrows to hide from predators at night. Now, the predators that would hunt Tracy was TSCC. They were a pack of wolves and jackals and hyenas. A lot of them had the mange and rabies, and she was fearful that they would attack her when she wasn't looking. But Tracy looked high and low. And she just was, I don't know what I'm going to do. Where can I find love? Even the women don't want me. But Tracy had hope. Her heart was growing darker, though, each day. Because she couldn't find love, it made her become something dark. Some countries and some cultures, they called her a demon. She couldn't go back home to the troll people because they didn't want her. Once they realized that thing on top of her head was contagious, they didn't know if it was contagious. They didn't know if it would take over their bodies like it was taking over hers. Tracy devised a plan to get back at all of mankind for thwarting her advances, not giving her love. That's all she wanted. What woodland creature wouldn't want love? Every person that she wanted to love, oh, poor thing. She said she would do a blood ritual and she would make a curse upon all mankind. She would curse them all for generations to come. So that night, Tracy laid 5 eggs, 5 eggs that she sacrificed to Loki, the god. The god, no, it was Hades. I'm sorry. She made a sacrifice to Hades, the god of the underworld. Hades told her he would befriend her and he would make her, let her find someone that she could love. A man that was light skinned and cut hair would be the man that would be her forever love. But he told her, bitch, you have to get a job. Tracy, she took that advice and she went to different places. She went to PetSmart, Petco, all of the dog shelters. No one wanted her until she came upon a Great Clips. The Great Clips also they cut the prince's hair, they cut the emperors, all of the maidens would go there. And so she felt that she would have a chance to meet her forever love there and seal it with the first kiss of love. While there, she met a strapping older gentleman that cut hair almost as bad as she did. And they formed a bond with this. They didn't have many customers because people saw the shitty work that they did. And she fell madly in love with this guy. His name was Boo, otherwise known as Mark. Mark told her, Tracy, I'm going to leave here. I don't want to work here anymore. This is not working out. I found a new maiden that's going to put out more than you put out. Now, Tracy knew there was something to this story because they had hired another person to cut hair, and this person cut hair much more than Tracy, a lot better than Tracy. She had beautiful, long Brazilian weave in her head, and she had a nice, cute body. Her makeup was always impeccable. Tracy was furious with this, angry. That night, Tracy went out into the woods and she transformed into her true self, a hyena werewolf, aardvark, anteater. She said, I am going to make sure this maiden bitch pays for taking my boo away from me. That night, she went to the horse-drawn carriage that maiden used to come to work, and she tore the wheels off. She killed the horses. She tore the wagon top off. Boy, was she pissed. Before the authorities could come, because she saw the burning pieces of wood that the villagers had coming her way. They were coming in her direction. Tracy scampered off. She scampered back into the woods and hid and watched and smiled with her jagged teeth. She took pride and she loved the feeling that she had. She loved hate. She loved the misfortune that she was causing. The next day at the Great Cliffs, keep in mind, Tracy had assumed her human form again, well, her troll's form, which was close to the hyena, anteater, demon form that she had changed into. The only difference is she put a different wig on top of her head. Now, that day in the Great Cliffs, that day in the Great Cliffs, the head stylist came and told her, Tracy, your services are no longer rendered or needed. Tracy didn't know why. They took a vote. Everyone voted for Tracy to be banned from the kingdom, that Great Cliffs. Tracy didn't know why, because they had only paid her 2.25 shillings an hour. But they all voted to banish her, except one queen that worked there. And that queen only voted for her because he thought she was a man and there was a chance that he could get laid. Tracy put her tail between her legs and she slowly ambled away, vowing again that humanity would suffer for this, all of mankind. This is part 1 of the Tracy trilogy and how she became Tree Dog. From that moment on, she went into a forced retirement. Part 2 will be tomorrow. I appreciate you all for coming out. Thank you for the Cash App as well. I'll be able to get me some grub with that from Thy Waterburger. Thank you guys for coming out. Part 2 of the bedtime stories, Tracy, will conclude tomorrow. Thank you guys. Much love. I'm out.